Welcome to the From the 108 podcast, starring the drunk uncles of White Sox Twitter. He's a Twitter-like whore, an Instagram thirst trap, and your grandma's guilty pleasure, BeefLoaf. A West Coast attitude in a decidedly Midwest body, My Sock Summer. And your host, he's sharing obscure music thoughts to give you time to hit the bathroom, Pierzinski E.
Thank you, Quaranzy, and welcome to the From the 108 podcast. Get ready for some baseball, beer, and bullshit. And remember the drinking rules. If BeefLoaf's says allegedly, or that he wrote a blog about that, you drink. If My Sock Summer doesn't know a player or mentions his time on the West Coast, you drink. If I swear or say here's the thing, you drink. If Janice discusses expensive salads or Yazmani Grandal, you drink. And when this podcast lasts longer than today's MLBPA meeting, you drink. Speaking of drinking, fellas, what are you drinking?
Woo!
Beef, I've heard a lot about what you're drinking today. Why don't you tell me what you got on tap here?
I put out a poll today from the 108 from the 108 Twitter account and asked people what I should be drinking. So the last few weeks I've been drinking expired goose beer that My Sock Summer absolutely hates. I was rooting for that to win. It did not. I had wine as the next choice, which I had a glass of with dinner. That also did not win. What won was random things from my bar. Okay. Teresi and I were cocktailing a couple weekends ago, and I have some random bottles of stuff, like half-done things. So behind me, you can kind of see some of these things. I've got some Japanese whiskey back here. I've got like the ass end of a bottle of Di Serrona. I've got some Woodford Reserve. I've got some more stuff over there if I get through all this. If I get through all this, I probably won't last the rest of the podcast. What I'm specifically drinking right now is something that our buddy Nick Garcia turned us on to. Nick interviews Teresi and I often for his gambling mag. I'm drinking The Godfather. And The Godfather is two parts, in this case, 2 parts Japanese whiskey, 1 part amaretto. And it is freaking delicious. And I wish I had more amaretto because I would drink these all fucking night.
Those are delicious. I don't think you should ever drink those all night, though. That's not like an all night,
especially not tonight.
My Sock Summer, what are you drinking?
What is on your shirt, Teresi? I just
it's
Cheech. All right,
it's Cheech and Chong. It's like a plain card. So Chong's on the bottom.
Our dad looks so much like Cheech. People don't even know.
My mom bought me this shirt for Christmas. So
because she's like, here, you should remember your father. Here's your
that's
shirt.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's exactly. Well, because I look like Chong, so it's a nice family thing.
You're not tall enough to be Chong.
You got too much. You don't know how tall he
shots
is.
Fired.
I am.
He is.
He's tall. He's taller than you. I know that. I know he's taller than you. I don't know how tall he is, but I feel like he's pretty tall. Or Cheech is really short. I'm not sure. Welcome back to the Cheech and Chong Hour with Teresi, My Sock Summer, and BeefLoaf. I am drinking again, which was one of my solid drinks that I have podcast nights. I'm having the Whiskey Acres out there in DeKalb, Illinois. The blue popcorn. It is a great bottle. Chris Tannehill gave me a $50 gift certificate over at the Binny's. I bought this bottle. Ooh. It's my splurge bottle. I will be going into my favorite the Knob Creek smoked maple bourbon that I like so much that hopefully they have at the park. I'm going to have to find out because that's going to be my go-to drink until I black out. The first time I black out at Sox Park on the whiskey will be the last time I drink whiskey at the park. So we're going to play that game. Maybe we'll do one of those square things, like where you fill out like the calendar, like when the girl's going to give birth. We'll be like, when is My Sock Summer going to black out on whiskey at a game? And whoever has opening day is probably going to win.
Yeah, it's whatever that end is. It's predict the end of the lockout is the same poll. Like it's
pretty much, right? So so I'll move into the Knob Creek. Chorizo, what are you drinking tonight?
So I had people over for the Super Bowl this past weekend. Beef, you were there and brought a ton of beer. What was funny was like I had a bunch of solos because I was like, hey, we all got to stay in great physical condition like we all are. Yeah. So I had some solos, and so no one touched those. They drank like literally everything else.
I had one.
I still
and I drank. I'm like, I'm gonna switch to something else.
They're delicious though. So I'm drinking some Goose Island solos, staying fit.
That's a good call. I was going to bring that up. I forgot to bring it up. I am moving back to beer as soon as I am done destroying Beef Loaf in the 108 weight loss challenge. As soon as I win this and it's over, I'm going back to beer. But right now, I can't do it. Trust me. I used to have cheat meals on Thursdays, like after a weigh-in. Like I would go and have a cheat meal. I'm not even having that because I'm like, I'm getting down below 270.
You're focused, baby. I love your focus.
I just want to fuck with him. Like I just want to beat him because he's like doing all these weird, crazy things to try to win. Like only eating eggplants.
Yeah, speaking of which, Beef, let's tell me how you're doing tonight, man. What's going on with you?
You know what? I've been better, boys. Most of my life is just fine. But I'll tell you what, when I got on the goddamn scale this morning, it was not fine. I was up 1.4 pounds. And you guys know I've been doing the whole vegan thing, right? And I cheat a little bit, right? I had eggplant parm by you, but that's not much cheese, right? So this is like, and we went out to dinner. I went out to dinner with my family the other night, and I had a little amount of like burrata. But I'm staying vegan, basically. No meat, no nothing. And I hop on the scale, and I'm 1.4 pounds up. And I saw it coming. Because when I come off the weekend, after we drank and all that stuff on Super Bowl, I was 256. And I thought, okay, that's fine. I usually drop a couple pounds a day as we get into the week because I don't eat as much. But we had dinner, whatever, 254 Tuesday morning. Wednesday morning, I was 253 and some change. I'm like, I am fucked. There's no way I'm going down like 4 pounds so I can get under last week. So I got some thoughts on where I went wrong, potentially. Okay. Number one, Super Bowl party at Treasy's. You know what? I made a comment in the middle of the fourth quarter. Treasy and I were eating out of a bowl of chips. I said, we don't have enough chips for overtime. And Quarantine came and dumped a bunch of chips. I think eating the overtime chips might be part of the problem there. I think that's one theory. Second theory is I really laid into 50 Cent. That fat fuck hanging up and upside down. And I was so sad, man. I love 50 Cent and I love Get Rich or Die Trying. But that chubby bastard was upside down, and it was tough to even get him down off of that thing. And then when he was dancing, and like later on,
how are you blaming this on 50 Cent?
First off,
no, I'm saying it's karma. It's karma that I was really laying in the 50 Cent. I couldn't wait to take to Twitter and say 50 Cent disappointed the shit out of me, and then I disappointed the whole 108 audience by weighing in 1.5 pounds too heavy on the weigh-in day today. And my third, conspiracy theory is I ate a bunch of tofu on Monday night. And I have felt bloated since. And I didn't know this was the thing. I Googled it today, like right before I was getting ready to eat dinner, which wasn't tofu, but tofu bloats some people. And so I think it was the tofu. I think if I just get the tofu the fuck out of there and stick with the rest of the vegan thing, I'll be on a good track. Because I've kind of felt, I'm feeling a little better now. But
we could have told you to not eat tofu. Like that wasn't, I would have gladly handed you that advice. I didn't know that needed to be said.
This comment right here, tofu's garbage.
Beef also
apparently
later tonight, don't set yourself on fire like Richard Pryor. That's I don't know that I got to tell you these things, but apparently I do.
Killer tofu.
That's funny.
My Sock Summer, how you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing great. I mean, beating Beef Loaf is just fun, and it's great because I know he's so excited about it. So it's just like to beat him. It's just great. So I'm going to say great 3 more times before I get to how good I'm doing. So guys, I was watching, I've been watching a lot of shows. Like I was watching like Euphoria, and I really like that. I got to write a blog about that. We've been watching like the Pam and the Tommy doc thing. That's on. It's not a doc. It's a drama series with Seth Rogen, which is weird.
And Nick Offerman too, right?
And Nick Offerman over there on the Hulu. That's good. But yesterday I was perusing Netflix, and I was like, "What's this?" And it's the Kanye documentary, and I'm like, "Oh shit!" And I not heard of this already because I'm just I'm more up on what's going on with Disney. I'm an old, I am an old, and my kids are doing something different, right? So like, you want me to sing like a song from Encanto? I got you. But do I know the new hip documentary that's coming out on Netflix? Probably not. No. Okay. So I'm watching it yesterday, and it's great. Like, you remember how big like camcorders were back in the day? And like, if you had like a Sony Handycam, like you were the best. And like, people put on shows for you. Like you walk in somewhere with your Handycam, and somebody would be like, hey, it's me. And then you start doing like your thing. So this guy
Sterling was wild back in the day. Apparently, Treasy.
it
It was wild out there.
Like,
it was wild and everywhere, man.
I didn't know they were
So-
doing cam shows in Sterling in the
I don't
mid
know what's going on
'80s.
You'd be like, yes, that's exactly how we acted when somebody walked in a room with a video camera. You were just like, oh shit, it's a show. Let's do a show, right? So Kanye has got this documentary. His buddy was like, his name's Kooky, and he did Channel Zero in Chicago, which was something I was totally not aware of, but it was like a hip hop program that was on public access television. And the only reason he was doing this show is because he wanted to he's a stand-up comedian, and he wanted to promote himself and promote his jokes on this Channel Zero. So he's doing all this. He's like meeting all these famous people. You got all these people he's talking to. And then he meets Kanye. And Kanye's first on camera is wearing braces. He's got big old glasses. And he's dressed like, remember Dr. Dre before he was in NWA? Like how he's
Oh,
in
yeah,
the
the
Yeah,
glitter
yeah,
and
with
all
the
that
sequins.
stuff.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah.
like it's not that, but it's very damn close. It looks a lot like MC Hammer from like what I can picture him in my mind. But it's like, oh my God, that is a teenage Kanye West. And like he is goofy as fuck. So as his show,
Weren't
is
we
going
all
on-
as teenagers?
Well, of course, but like
What the heck?
not everybody has like a fucking like camera guy following you. So this guy is like, I'm doing this show, and everyone keeps saying, yeah, I'm in town because Kanye, I'm meeting with Kanye. He's making me a beat. You know, Kanye's doing all these fucking beats for everybody. Becomes this famous dude. The guy's like, all right, or he's getting famous. Guy's like, all right, fuck this comedian shit. I'm making a documentary about Kanye. So apparently he starts this documentary back in the day. Well, as soon as he quits his comedian thing, he's like, I'm going to just be with Kanye. I'm devoted to Kanye. Kanye jets and goes to New York. So then he takes like a whole year off. So I don't know what the fuck Kooky did for a year, but he was not following Kanye. But so I'm watching online and like people are like ingesting it and they're like, man, Kanye took so much shit, from people. And he became, yeah, sure you do, Jose, motherfucker. All right. So he took so much shit from everybody. Like they literally have him playing It All Comes Down or All Falls Down, one of his hit songs off his first record, to the people at Rockefeller Records. And people are just looking at him like, I don't know what this guy's doing. Like, I don't understand what he's doing. This is like when Jay-Z was huge. Izzo, H to the Izzo is huge right now. That was Kanye's first beat, that he sold to Jay-Z. Mm-hmm. And like, it's just all this. It was just a different time, but it's just crazy to hear a fully formed Kanye song being sung to somebody at a record company. And we know that it becomes this huge fucking hit and is ridiculous. And people are just like, yeah, I'm not feeling it. Like, I don't get this.
It's
so
basically that Larry David Super Bowl commercial where he's like, Thomas Edison's got the light bulb. And he's like, this stinks. Yeah.
But so it's just a great, if you guys haven't seen it, you guys obviously haven't seen it, but like whoever's in the chat, whatever, it's interesting. It's a fun thing. But people are like, oh, Kanye got shit on by his people. He had his struggles. And I want to be like, no, everybody that gets famous and becomes like this is not like, they don't just hand you the keys to the city when you come up with something. Like, you have trials and tribulations. Like, you grow into something. Like, you become who you are through the experiences that you have. It's not like nothing is ever handed to anybody, regardless of what people think, right? Like, you still have to be interesting. You still have to have something. Even like these rich, people that are on these reality shows, like a Kim Kardashian or whatever the fuck. Like, and that's weird. That's Kim and Kanye. But it's just like they're doing something to capture that attention and to, regurgitate it out. It's just funny to watch this guy who's worth like so much money, and people are like, oh man, I feel so bad for Kanye for what he had to go through, and you're like, but that's what you got.
My sucks somewhere. There's also a binary factor to art, right? It either hits like a motherfucker or no one cares, right? Even when we put out like a blog or we do some sort of bit or whatever, you couldn't tell what's going to be a big one and what's going to suck. No one's going to read it. No one gives a shit, right? I mean, it's almost impossible to tell. So it is hilarious that they're sitting there listening to All Falls Down. I mean, and Wally Money's in the comments saying he's shopped Jesus Walks. No one wanted it. Like, what the hell? Right? No. But you don't know. Who knows what's going to become big? Like, if you're one person, you have no idea.
And Wally, since you've probably seen it when he's in with Scarface and he's like playing these beats for Scarface. And finally at the end of the thing, Scarface is just like, he's like, which beats do you want me to send you, or what tracks do you want me to send you to sing on them? And Scarface goes like, it don't matter. I want to be on any of these fucking tracks. They're that good. So that's where it starts changing. But before he gets there, he pops out both his retainers and he puts them on the fucking counter before he raps, because he can't rap with the retainers in his mouth.
I would assume not.
And Scarface goes, bro, what the fuck is that? And he goes, oh, those are my retainers. I got to take them out before I rap. And it's like, that's another thing that's going crazy on the internet. Like all these guys are on the Twitters are just like, man, Kanye was dedicated to those retainers, because it's just like had them in all the time and kept popping them out and putting in places. You're just like, oh, it's fucking so disgusting.
I mean, I had braces, I had retainers. What's up, man? You gotta get them teeth straight, baby.
That's true. I did too. And then I don't think anybody like fucking told me that like what the retainers were to do. Like even though it's in the fucking name of the product is to retain where the teeth are. I didn't figure that out.
So what you're saying is you could rap with your retainers in. You had no problem.
I just never wore them.
Okay.
I never wore them.
Just making sure.
Chorizo, how are you doing? Since I've made everyone so happy with my story. You know what, fuckers? It's called banter. This is banter. It's not supposed to be well thought out, a well-oiled thing, or for me to go on and be like, I have point A, point B, and point C to fucking make you fucking douchebags. I can banter however I want to fucking banter. Okay?
Sean Jankowski.
Listen, I can do whatever the fuck I want with my goddamn banter. That's my goddamn time. Chorizo, now it's your time.
Oh, it's my time? This is your third time you asked me the question? You prick.
Second time.
All right. No, so I'm not doing great this week. I injured myself sitting.
Oh,
so I'm like sitting at my desk. And like I got up and it literally felt like a demon spirit was trying to grab me by my inner thigh and drag me into hell.
That's horny right there. Inner thigh.
It was like
Ghostbusters.
The worst possible place. And so like I'm like, am I dying? What's happening here? And like it hurt for like 3 or 4 days. And it's all right now, but like it's still kind of sore. But I literally did nothing. Like I was sitting, but the injury was sitting too long. And so like I want to know from you guys, I know I'm the oldest guy in the group, not age-wise, but life-wise.
Yeah.
And so have you guys experienced any of these like old man injuries where you're not really doing anything and all of a sudden you're out for 6 weeks like Sammy Sosa sneezing?
When he sneezed, I was at that game that he missed because he sneezed in San Diego.
I mean, I'll start. No, I not really. I mean, like,
I think
randomly I might get something, but I mean, you know me, Treasy. I'm not particularly limber, but I'm light on my feet, and I never, even when we played sports all the time, I rarely ever had an injury. Like I got a black eye in a game because I tried to take a charge and guy elbowed me in the face. I mean, like those are the kind of injuries I would get. I didn't really get like hamstring pulls or anything like that. So not really. But I know you, Treasy, are a big cramp guy. Was that like a monster cramp that you got? Like you dehydrated and you got fucked up or what?
I never felt like I had a cramp.
Okay.
Right? Like like when you wake up when you drank a lot and you like wake up and your
it's coming.
calf is like this like tiny ball, like a tennis ball that it should not be. And you're just like trying not to scream and wake up your wife. Like it wasn't like that. It was literally, I got up and I was like, everything just went wrong in this leg. Like, and so
that's what happened.
That's very possible, Billy Wires. That's very possible. My Sock Summer, how about you, man? You get any of these things?
I'm thinking about it, and I don't have any old man injuries that just happened. Like
Fine.
my knee's been
man.
My knee's been fucked up. my kne's been fucked up, but like I fell on it, so like it's fucked up. I get it. So yeah, no, sorry.
Was that when you fell in the snow like last year? When Wally Money and I were making fun of you for falling in the snow?
No, like I had like sold a bunch of stuff on eBay and I put stuff down and I went to go do something and I was holding.
He was holding on to the internet.
I was holding my youngest. And I fell and I was like, oh, I don't want to crush her. And I fell directly on my knees and it hurt like fucking hell. So.
All right, our time limit can't handle another one of your stories. So let's pick
that is funny. Shut the fuck up.
Holding the giant door.
Everyone can just seriously go to hell. They don't like my stories. This is half the whole fucking podcast is my stories. Jesus Christ. Welcome to February. There's just one thing that Mazda of Orland Park wants to ask you. They should have asked you on Monday. Will you be our motherfucking Valentine? Listen, the 108 is full of ballers making baller moves. It's true. But buying your girl or a guy a car for Christmas is so last decade. Let's get to the 20s and start buying each other cars for Valentine's Day. But not just any car, making a Mazda CX-30. Designed to inspire creativity with the freedom to go anywhere, the 2022 CX-30 will further those motivations with a standard I-Active all-wheel drive, which enhances the crossover's performance. Already recognized for blending quality craftsmanship, sleek styling, and natural dynamic driving, the new Carbon Edition model is a great addition to the crossover's offerings. The naturally aspirated and turbocharged 2020 CX-30 models will begin to arrive in dealerships soon. The stylish exterior of the CX-30 includes LED automatic on-off headlights, taillights, and daytime running lights, back rear roof spoiler, a gray metallic 16-inch aluminum alloy wheels, matte finish front grille, and rain-sensing windshield wipers. Yes, the windshield wipers that are smarter than King Don. Check out their website at www.mazdaofOrlandPark.com and check out all the details on their line of cars and sport utility vehicles. Make it your resolution to make a trip down to Mazda of Orland Park to take advantage of their $500 off for Sox fans. Give them a follow over at Zoom Nation as soon as they are known to give away park tickets and parking for Sox games. Mazda of Orland Park, home of the Zoom Nation, 8910 West 159th Street. Orland Park, 708-444-3200. Zoom. Just a couple trips.
All right. Oh, warned you, Janice. We've got a special guest tonight. You can find her writing for NBC Sports Edge, amongst others, co-hosting the Northside Sox podcast. And you can even find her work in print, which I didn't know still existed, and I was very excited to see. That's honestly very cool. Welcome to the show, Janice. And the first question I have to ask you, because I think we got a glimpse there, but what are you drinking?
This, my friends, is Microphone Brewing's the new workout plan. So kind of continuing My Sox Summer's Iliad of whatever the hell he was talking about.
Kanye. Yep.
I mean, I was kind of listening, but I wasn't. I was drinking this lovely beer, but essentially it is a Kanye-inspired beer by Microphone Brewing out in a scenic Elk Grove Village.
All their beers are named after like music things, right?
That's right. Yeah. They had a really fantastic milkshake IPA called a Basic Bougie Ratchet. And even though I'm not a huge milkshake IPA person, like this just tasted like a pumpkin pie, like whatever that got me drunk. It's great.
I'm not the biggest beer guy, but I can't really get down on the milkshake IPAs. I don't know if whatever it is, it's just something. I don't know if it's just too rich for me or what. You know, I'm not.
You don't tolerate lactose? Yeah. Is that it?
Or tofu, apparently. Everything bloats me now. I'm an old man. I get bloated for absolutely everything.
I mean, you're bloat loaf in the season, so it doesn't really matter. It's not even beef loaf anymore.
We're gonna have to get you some apple cider vinegar or something, beef loaf.
I don't know if that's good enough for him.
Shotgunning that in the third inning of the game. It's like, it's time to de-bloat beef loaf.
Yeah. Josh, thank you for picking that up. He's not the biggest beer guy, but he usually only drinks beer and also drinks expired beer. So like normally, people that aren't big beer guys probably don't drink like the expired ones, but okay.
Bro, the expired beer is our revenue. Okay. I want to make use of our revenue in a creative way. So that's why I want to make sure I get it down. Right.
Look at your accountant side showing. Good job.
That's right.
But this isn't about us. What is this about, Treasy?
This is about Janice. We want to get to know Janice. So we're each going to ask some questions. Some are going to be baseball related. Some are going to be content and baseball experience related. I'll let Beef go first because he usually has a real, genuine, good question. And me and My Sox Summer usually have dumber, more ridiculous questions. So Beef, why don't you go first?
That's true. Yeah, I'm happy to start. So Mrs. Beef, Quernsey, and I were driving out to Treasy's show a couple Fridays ago. And I told them you were going to be on the show. And they were really excited. And they were like, I said, what do you want me to ask? And they said, ask her how she succeeds in a male-dominated industry, writing about sports and making content. And I told them, I'm not asking that. I know how. She's a total ass kicker. So we don't even need to ask that shit. We realize why you're a star amongst everybody that's out there. But my question is this, though. In the process of doing the ass kicking, how do you organize your writing process? How do you get into a flow? How do you source ideas? Take me inside like the creative process. We don't get to hear much of that from people that we have on that create content, because sometimes a lot of them are just podcast. I want someone who's a writer who does everything. I want to hear from you. So what you got?
Absolutely. First of all, I would like to answer that first question, and to respond briefly. I am very much fueled by vitriol and spite. So those are pretty much my two greatest motivators. So yeah, I mean, yeah, if I see any haters out there, that's just more motivation for me to outperform everyone, I suppose. In some cases, myself. In some cases, myself. But as for organizing and just coming up with ideas, I am a very disorganized person in general. Like, I don't even want to show you guys like what's fucking right next to me. It is an entire like whole ass mess. I'm even behind my kitchen table, right in front of my kitchen window, just mainly because, yeah, my place is a fucking shit show right now, and no one needs to see that. So instead, I decided to not only show you my kitchen window, but my one friend Jose here. So he's hanging out with me. He knows that I'm a total fucking mess. He's like, girl, clean your apartment. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? Maybe later. Maybe after I talk to the 108 guys. But generally, I am a huge fan of revising, just revisions. My first thing that I tell myself is, because I'm very much so a perfectionist, is that I always tell myself that the first draft is going to be shit. Like it's going to be caca. It's going to be doo-doo. And, you know, there's nothing I can do about that. Just mainly because, yeah, all the greatest writers probably, you know, didn't crank out great masterpieces in one sitting. So I'll just completely, you know, fart around and just like vomit on my Google Doc or whatever, and then I'll come back to it. In some cases, if I'm not meeting a deadline, I'll sit on it for a little bit. I'll, you know, like sleep. I'll wait until I'm a little bit more of a clearer mindset. Basically, what I'm trying to say here is that I do a lot of writing when I'm drunk. I've
heard that as a process before. Write drunk, edit sober. I've heard that as like the process.
That is really great advice, honestly. So like typically if I'm just like sitting at my computer late at night, I also love writing at breweries too. I'll just like bring my laptop and I'll just be the hermit in the corner with my beer or whatever, just clacking away. And, you know, oh, she's probably doing something important. Like, no, I'm just like scrolling through Twitter or, you know, just reading some other bullshit online. But maybe 25% of the time I'm actually writing. So yeah, I just revise the hell out of anything I do. And in some cases, even after I post an article, I'll find something wrong with it. I'll be like, oh shit, like I could have worded that better, or I used this phrase like completely incorrectly, or like, oh my God, like do I even speak English? It's like what the hell was I even thinking?
That's my right.
Yeah, I mean, to this day, sometimes I'll come back to stuff I've published and just be like, I probably could have done these things better. But yeah, it's essentially just revising and just like coming back to my shit and presenting a final product that I actually like.
So you mentioned something in there that's interesting to me. So you were mentioning going to a brewery and writing, going by yourself and writing. And so when I was younger and coming up and more, I was more into the music scene than the sports scene back then. Like I'd go to a lot of shows by myself, right? Like it's a Tuesday night, the band's playing at midnight. None of my buddies want to go see this metal band at like midnight on a Tuesday. I would just go, right? Like I'd just go to the show. And I've seen you post quite a few times that you'll go to a Sox game. You just go like, I'm just going to go to the Sox game. No one else is going. I'm going to go. Give me a kind of it's definitely a different experience probably for me going to a metal show and you going to a Sox game. So just kind of give me the highlights and lowlights of, your experience going to a Sox game by yourself.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, typically what I'll do is, like, especially this past year, I was definitely counting my blessings and being like, all right, this is the first, like, full season in, like, 2 years. And as someone who attended a handful of games in 2020, I definitely, like, recognized my privilege and how cool that was. And I was like, all right, so...
I'm still mad about that Lucas Giolito no-hitter shit. I'm still pissed. I mean, I hate to interrupt this because you had a really good answer going, I know my Sox owner's also pissed. He won't admit it, but I'm petty, so I will say I'm pissed that you got to be at that game. We didn't get to
I didn't even make it a drinking rule because I was going to be mad when it came up.
I mean, bless you for getting to be there, but I'm just jealous. I wish I was there. Anyway,
I was definitely just kind of like picturing myself as like this vessel where I'm just like through my eyes, like are the eyes of all my White Sox fan friends, and just some like poetic bullshit I was telling myself, and I was like your eyes are my eyes, like everything I see, you guys get to see, which is complete bullshit, by the way. But it's also true though. It's also very true. Like all of everyone was with me, like especially at Lucas Giolito's no hitter. But all right.
Even Ken WO or no?
Yeah, sure, him too. I haven't DoorDashed him any tacos yet, but no, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Yeah. But I definitely was trying to attend as many games as possible instead of, just texting, my one friend, Jose, are you going to the game? I would just be like, you know what? I'm just going to show up. I'm just going to see who's there. I'm going to chill. And if anything, I'm just going to head over to the 108 because, I know that one of you guys are going to be there and one of you will want to like talk some shit or whatnot. Like that was essentially the big constant of attending White Sox games alone is that, even though, sometimes being a woman at a baseball game alone, sometimes you're inviting, trouble of sorts or, unwanted attention. But I just knew that, once I would get into the 108, then I'd be in good hands.
See, I've seen you post about guys talking to you at games and I always just it's like, man, why can't this be a blog? Like, why can't this get a snap a picture of the dude and then just be like, here's what this dumb fuck said to me today. I would love to hear the amazing thoughts of the guy that's trying to teach you baseball. I feel like that would be a very special blog to read through. But yeah, I mean, I appreciate that, the 108 is somewhere that, is somewhere to go. That was kind of what we built this thing around, right? Like, buy a ticket, we're going to be there. One of us will be there. My Sox Summer will probably be there to be.
Wow.
Or even Loaf. Give it away on a Tuesday. He's there.
Oh, fuck yeah. Bobblehead on a Tuesday for sure. That kind of leads into my question, Chorizo. Janice, can you give me one thing, and you can do 100 if you want. I don't care. But I'm just saying one. You at least got to do one that you never want to hear again on Twitter or at the park from another, like a male or female fan. What's one thing? Like, what's the thing that you just hate to hear the most? Like, I would like it. Like, yeah, I just want it to be like your big, what's the biggest pet peeve thing? Yeah.
Okay, before I answer that, and I've already got a couple in my back pocket here. I do have to tell you guys the story about how I was sitting in the Revolution deck or whatever, having a beer, and I was chatting with another baseball writer friend of mine. And I was actually looking some stuff up on Savant, as one does when someone hits a home run. I can't remember who did it, but essentially I was trying to look up some exit velocity stats, distance or whatnot. The guy next to me turns to me and goes, "Put your phone down and watch the game."
Hey, fuck off. I'll do exactly whatever I want with my ticket.
Precisely. And so I didn't really say anything, just mainly because I was kind of taken aback by how incredibly rude someone would be to a total stranger.
Yeah.
But my friend next to me very calmly turns to him and goes, "Can you tell me what an exit velocity is?" And he didn't say shit. He was just like, that's like when the ball is hit, and we're like, yeah, you don't fucking know, go away.
That's not good. No one ever tells us to stay off our phones.
No,
because we're
they should
guys.
sometimes too. There's probably Beef is tweeting and there's a line drive screaming towards his head. No one's gonna tell him.
No, they don't care. No one cares.
Might make a couple improvements.
They might be like, someone else get your phone out, get a picture of this.
Yeah.
So probably one of the things I would like to stop hearing is, shit like, get off your phone. Just mainly because you don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Like maybe I'm writing an article. Maybe I'm, texting Rick Hahn. Maybe, I'm on Baseball Savant running all these complex queries that, would make most people shit their pants. So like that is one thing that I would like to not hear is like, just people just policing other people's activities that aren't hurting anyone else.
Well, hold on. It's
Uh-oh.
totally within our right to tell people not to do the wave. Okay,
Oh,
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, no,
but
this is
let's
the
not
exception.
go. Let's not
This
just
is
do
right.
a blanket.
It's in the
thing.
Geneva Convention. We could tell people not to do the
Yes.
wave. My Sox Summer's right
Yeah,
about that. That's legal.
Yeah, certainly. That's definitely the asterisk right next to it, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
But I would never tell somebody to get off their phone. I don't even care. Why does somebody even care? That's the biggest thing to me. Like in hearing that story, like that makes me cringe inside. Is like, who's even thinking that they know better than somebody else? Like, I don't care. If you want to watch, like, a fucking YouTube video while you're at a game, I don't care. But then don't try to come and tell me like what's going on. Like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Or if you want to take a YouTube video of a guy flipping off the wave that My Sox Summer made a fortune on, didn't share any of it with us.
Oh, shit.
There you go, Josh. He has Savannah as the White Sox sometimes struggle to post pitch speeds. Yeah, and sometimes too, I want to see pitch mixes and I want to see, just velocities and shit. It's like because I need to know. As a red-blooded woman, I just need to know. So,
That's the one thing you want to tell people though, not to hear anymore. You don't get off your phone.
That's one thing. That's
okay.
But like, I probably what runs a close second is probably like Yazmani Grandal's batting average. What? That's just trash.
Everyone drink.
180. I get
gotta
this, by the way, guys.
So I have a more baseball focused question for you. This is something that I'm trying to wrap my own brain around. So I'd like to hear what your thoughts are on this, because I've had a whole bunch of different ways of kind of navigating this, and there's hundreds really. The end of the Sox bullpen right now is extremely crowded. So, and in my head, like, I don't know what you can actually get for Craig Kimbrell. I think a lot of people think you can trade him. I don't think you could trade him for much. So I'm kind of wondering, like, what are your thoughts on like the back half of the bullpen, what the Sox should do, or who they should get rid of, or who they should do whatever with?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it is getting a little crowded, and Graveman certainly kind of adds a little bit more of, the mystique to it at like generally, but yeah, I'm not exactly sure like what's going to happen with Kimbrell. I have a feeling that maybe they're hoping that Kimbrell's going to maybe pitch a handful of innings, maybe get his trade value up that way, and then get whomever for Kimbrell. Like, I don't know, maybe a sack of balls, or I don't know, like a hot dog or something. Yeah,
that sounds about right.
Like, just at face value, I'm not exactly sure who any potential trade partners would be. Besides, I don't know.
It's tough because I mean, I think the Phillies picked up. I forget who the Phillies picked up right before everything went to shit. But even they have someone at the back end now. So there's some options, but there's still some guys out there too, which makes it a more complicated situation.
And he's expensive. I mean, when we looked, Teresa, we were writing all that stuff. He was the second highest paid reliever behind Aroldis Chapman, who's a piece of crap. But and then Raisel Iglesias signed a deal that was for more per year. But he's the third highest paid reliever right now, and he didn't look great in the last time you saw him. The last couple of months you saw him, it was you're not sure. And he unraveled like that a couple times. So it's a little sketchy, like what you could actually get from him. I kind of agree with Janice. And truth be told, if he's kind of good through, let's say, July, you just keep him, don't you? Don't you just ride it out and just say, right, well, we got another bullpen weapon. Like, what are you going to get for him at that point? Like, why enrich another contender? You just hold him.
There is some chance that we actually put together the super bullpen a year after we tried to put together the super bullpen.
Would be beautiful. I love it.
Plus, and not everybody will stay healthy either. So like you might need that guy. You just don't know. Like
you don't know.
Like,
right.
There's so many unknowns that could potentially happen.
Yeah, I know that's completely just the whole White Sox strategy is just everyone please stay healthy. But I mean, who knows? I mean, at this point, yeah, the White Sox have 3 closers, which I think is absolutely nuts. And I mean, I didn't even think Kimbrel would be used in the way he was used last season. I thought that he would just kind of be used on days when Hendricks wasn't available, but that didn't seem to be the case. Yeah, he was kind of used as a weird setup man instead. But
right,
yeah.
and you have Aaron Bummer, so you didn't really need a setup man. You just needed another arm out there, someone to fatten up that back end a little bit. Yeah, it's kind of odd.
Yeah. I thought it was definitely more along the lines of strategy and just being like, all right, so we don't want to blow everyone's arm out like in like fucking August, so we're just going to make sure that the workload's a little more spread thin. But I don't know. What the hell do I know?
Oh, you know a lot. Stop that. That's one thing. And this is not a question. That's a statement. And this is something that I told the boys I was going to bring up. You need to fucking stop with this bullshit. Like, you can be strong. You are a strong woman. Okay. God damn it. And you were saying this shit at 108 Day when we were all intoxicated. And I probably said things that we shouldn't talk about. So let's not do that. But like, and not necessarily that are bad, but about other people that are in White Sox Twitter. We just want to talk about it. But you like, seriously, you're like, blah, blah, blah. It's like, shut up. Just fucking take your W's and then fucking live with them and be strong and be tough. As a father of 2 girls, is teaching these girls, don't take no shit. Like, we don't even talk about femininity. Fuck that shit. We're all people. Be a tough person. Those girls are gonna kick dudes' asses at soccer.
They already kick yours all the time, from what I can tell. I mean, every
Nightly.
time I come over, they're kicking your ass.
Yeah,
So,
but I'm tired of this. Oh, but what do I know? Stop it now. And I'm gonna say that every time you say something like that tonight. But go ahead.
That was definitely very rhetorical. Like, I definitely. I mean, even though self-deprecation is a little bit of my comedic, one of my comedic functions, but
yeah, we know nothing about that. We don't do that.
Yeah, we don't.
We're not self-deprecating at all.
I want to circle back. I want to circle back on my next question. We talked about Yazmani Grandal a little bit, okay? And I've had this idea in my head, and I've been trying to figure out a way to express it. And you're the perfect person to help me with this.
My favorite topic. All right.
I love Yazmani Grandal, but I know there ain't anyone around who loves him more than you do. Okay. However, we have some people, Sox Twitter. I don't want to besmirch them, but let's call them dull White Sox fans that aren't sure about Grandal. My Sox number is one of them. Help me figure out a way to sway everyone to the Grandal side. But we're not going to talk about pitch framing. We need something that gets in people's feels and gets them to embrace it. Because I've been thinking a lot about some of the arguments you see in Sox Twitter, and some of it is just like, you're never going to give a statistical argument for something. You got to give people something in their feels to like, oh, yeah, that's my guy now. I like that guy for some reason. You got any thoughts on this? I mean, my one thought was he's kind of got, it's not male pattern baldness, but he's kind of got some thinning up here, and that makes him like the average White Sox fan, man. He's got, doesn't have good flow. He's kind of a balding, older guy. Like, oh, you should be able to relate to that guy, like.
Yeah, not only the fact he absolutely stayed faithful to that giveaway basketball jersey. You guys know what I'm talking about? Like, he just wore that fucking thing all the time.
All the time.
During batting practice, during press conferences, he probably wears it to bed. I'm sure his wife is sick of it. But it's just like, yeah, the fact that he just stays loyal to this one like comfort piece of clothing should endear him to White Sox Twitter. Like, almost in the fact that he's a cartoon character, he like just wears the same thing all the time. I think that's very endearing. I think that's very cute.
No, I agree. All of us were like that in the pandemic. I've been wearing my house pants. I mean, even now I got to go in the office. I got these fucking house pants on. I've had them on for 2 years, or 3. I don't know how long this pandemic.
Jeff Passan is waiting in the comments for to murder you on those house pants.
I can't show on this. I can't show.
So
I did write a little bit about Yazmani Grandal for an article about like a couple of months ago, and about how he's historically a really good hitter in September. Even though this past season he might have been a little bit abetted by the fact that he took like a crap ton of time off to recover from his surgery. He came back and was just like mashing. But I think what needs to be brought to the surface is that he's historically just a really good September hitter, and especially with that last season with the Brewers, where I think it was like 2018, where he was just tearing the cover off the ball there. So.
No, and I don't know if this is controversial or not, but I really want to help try to save him as much as possible. Like, he's going to be 33 years old coming to this season. I wrote a blog, it was like 2 months ago, that he probably should DH a little more than instead of like riding him really hard at catcher. The only problem is the White Sox don't seem to believe that because they haven't reinforced the backup catcher spot and tried to give him an opportunity to just bat a little more often or slide over to first base occasionally and make Abreu DH or whatever. Like, his bat is so goddamn important, and he plays so well in our ballpark. I mean, we've seen that. I mean, watching him last year, it was like the guy's a monster, man. Especially at home, he absolutely crushed. And you realize how important it is for the Sox to have that kind of left-handed power in the lineup. And it's just like I can't fathom we're gonna ride the shit out of him for 150 caught games at 33 years old. Like that really like upsets me because it's like we got one more year with him. We gotta pace this out so we get the most out of this guy for the last 2 years.
Yeah, he's definitely not going to catch like every single game, even though I'm sure Yazmani himself wants to as well. Oh man, I think this is to cue some Zach Collins slander. I think that's coming in right now. Which, I mean, like, well, yes, I agree. Zach Collins can and will be slandered.
Oh yeah, he should hopefully be on another roster. Though we don't even want to talk about the end of the White Sox 40-man because it's not good, and
it's not good.
Almost none of them should be playing baseball in the majors. So we'll stay away from it.
Before we have the little situation here with my daughter, I was going to say I definitely believe in Yaz like at the end of the season, and that was like into the 2020 playoffs he mashed, like he did really well, and then I was trying to look up what he did this last offseason, but it didn't matter because we didn't win. So and we kind of got destroyed just in general, so it didn't matter like what he did or whatever. It just I think that's when his his veteran side is going to kick in better. And I think he's good. And I think he did great all last year. And he added to that. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't sexy, but it was good. It was something that was needed. Like, you know, and I like, so I'm not as anti-Yaz as people think, but it's not sexy, but it gets the job done sometimes.
The lunch pail guy, my Sox summer. He's the working class Chicagoan. That's what he is, you know?
Yes, with the faux hawk.
Wait.
Lunch pail guy with the faux hawk. Yep.
The best on the team, a lunch pail guy. Get out of here.
That's how you got to sell it, Trees. You got to get
okay.
People. Here's how you get him on the side. Like, this is why Yohan Moncada is like such a live wire. He's too handsome. You know, if you're too handsome, there's going to be some segment of the population, male population, be like, fuck that guy. And that's what we see out there. That's entirely the reason. I wrote that blog 3 years ago, Treasy, about why he doesn't get the strike zone calls. And most of it was the umps are jealous how handsome this motherfucker is. And it's still bearing out with Sox Twitter. They think he's too handsome. Don't believe the bullshit that they say, he doesn't get enough home runs. I agree with that. But you can still realize he's really good. Like, so what? Like, he's too handsome, guaranteed.
The man can wear a romper. I mean, and it's still like, I mean, it's like that's something that's swag that you can't teach, you can't buy, you have nothing.
He inspired an entire getaway day. Like, come on.
Yes.
And that's
legendary.
What other White Sox player could possibly inspire an entire theme for a getaway day?
Maybe Jose Valentin. Maybe.
Oh, mustache, baby. Yes.
Maybe.
Right, just faux stashes all over the place.
And
you know who would fail at that? Zach Collins. Like, Zach Collins probably can't grow a mustache to save his life. Like, Andrew Vaughn probably going to bring out a weird-ass one. He's going to look like some backwards hillbilly that just saw a fucking, like, alien. But
my Sox summer, if Zach Collins sported a mustache, Chris Hansen would show up immediately and ask him what he's doing here.
He'd teleport in. He'd be right there.
He would just be he'd be in the dugout in a suit, walking up to him and like, and what are you doing here? And then have a transcript in his hands.
Yeah. Let's field this question. Let's field this question from Ronald McDonald, who is Lord knows who. In their primes, do you want Yaz or AJ as the starting backstop? Can I start? Yeah, I'm not an AJ guy, so I would take Yaz easily.
Oh, I'd say Yaz too. I watched, there's some really great AJ moments, but there's a massive amount of ground outs to second base that we watched AJ hit. So
2012 AJ, pretty good. Hit 27 dongs. That's a good AJ. The rest of it, I don't know.
I'm not a huge AJ guy. I like AJ. Well, I mean, I like AJ the player. I'm sure I wouldn't like him in person.
No, he's no nice guy.
I doubt it.
No,
Oh my god.
My Sock Summer's best friend.
I've met him once. He was great. I would take AJ, but mostly because the things that he did, like somewhat off the field, but also as being the field director. The Sox in 2012 are like one of the top defensive teams in the MLB. The next year they were like one of the last because AJ wasn't there yelling at like Alexi to be like, get your ass over there and get that fucking ball. And like that's something that you kind of need. And you know what? Maybe Yoan Moncada would be better if he had a AJ screaming at him, telling him, "Hey, do this, do that." You know, like
some guys need the tough love. That's how we are with My Sock Summer. Treasy and I scream at My Sock Summer to get shit done. We don't need it because we're motivated, but My Sock Summer, we got to scream at your ass.
Totally unmotivated guy over here.
Janice,
I just like yelling at him.
I'm gonna guess we don't. I think we know your answer, but go ahead. We'd love to hear it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm going to go with Yaz just mainly because, he's definitely more of a pitcher's catcher, which is like, what we need. We need a catcher that's a pitcher's catcher, of course. I do agree with My Sock Summer on AJ and kind of just, getting the rest of the infield defense in line. But otherwise, I'm going to have to go with Yaz. But I do have a quick AJ story to tell you guys, just like recently. So after Game 4 of the ALDS, I was out with a handful of other folks from White Sox Twitter at Shinnick's. And, we're just sitting there having, a couple of laughs, some drinks. And all of a sudden, AJ walks in. He walks in, looks at all of us. And, like, everyone just kind of falls silent. And there's, like, maybe this, like, 2 or 3 seconds of awkward silence. And then AJ leaves. And we're just like, what the fuck was that?
Incredible.
Burley told me he was going to be here and he's not here.
And then there was just kind of, that moment of disbelief where you're just sort of like, did I just really see that? Like that was AJ Pierzinski, right? What the hell was...
You had a much better post Game 4 than Treasy and I did. We sat in my backyard, got shit faced, and were pissed about how the Sox were out of the playoffs. Then that's when we're like, we got to start losing weight like tomorrow. So let's drink all the beer that we can until we're ready to pass out, and then we'll start losing weight.
Oh yeah, I mean we were pissed too, but on top of that, there was just this confusion, sort of like why the fuck was AJ Pierzinski at Shinnick's of all places? And so we're.
Because it's a dope spot.
Happen. I mean, it is a dope spot. It is a very dope spot, but definitely not where you would, expect to see a former Sox catcher. But anyway.
A lot of people don't know though that Treasy got scholarships from Shinnick's to go to De La Salle.
That's true.
All 4 years of high school. This is 100% true story. This is not bullshit. I'm not fucking with all of you. Treasy got scholarships from the bar. They had a scholarship fund. He won it. And he got it all 4 years through De La Salle.
Claim to fame right there.
And I'll tell you what, I've paid that back. $2 at a time on Highline.
I probably helped pay.
Next gen.
No, but I mean that was awesome. I mean they did like a student athlete thing for Bridgeport kids. And I was one of the people that won it. It was like I still appreciate that from their family. I was actually recently just there, and I had many drinks. Believe it or not,
I don't believe you. I don't believe you at all.
It was weird drinking Corona in there. They carry that now. I feel like
that is weird. You want Miller High Life? You're not.
No,
champagne?
I mean, I'm trying to lose weight. I got to go with the gluten-free beer.
Gluten-free, less calories.
We're old and terrible.
Something like that. I don't know. I don't know how that works. Do you guys want to get into some more rapid-fire style questions?
Whoa, hold on.
Let's
do it. Can I do one more?
You got another one?
Yeah, I got one more. It's totally not baseball related. Well, kind of. It's more baseball fan related. Janice, you're the only one in this room right now that can answer this question. Literally, how creepy are White Sox fan guys? Like in the DMs, behind the scenes.
I could answer that too. I put thirst traps out there.
You've had Brewers people probably DM you, and you've had White Sox fans. Who's worse? Like maybe.
Honestly, like it's definitely died off. I definitely do not get as much thirst as I used to, and I think probably that might be because most people are afraid of me, and that checks out as they should be.
or more and more White Sox White Sox fans going on OnlyFans. Maybe that's like directing the creep that way, or
hey, you know what? Yeah, maybe. I definitely am. I empower other women to do whatever the heck they want. I think that's awesome. I think that's cool. Yeah, I mean, the truth be told, I don't think this is true for like White Sox fans or any like fandom in particular. But yeah, guys are creepy. Be like dudes be creepy. Just in general. So
yep, that's true. That is
yeah.
true.
There's like no way to like slide into somebody's DMs, right? Like that just doesn't happen. Like you've never been like, you know what? I might give, Jimmy Guy 6969 like the time of day.
That'll work. Yeah, that should work.
Because he sent me a picture of a cat and I love cats. Like you've never done that, right?
Like, first of all, if someone like messaged me with the handle Jimmy6969, I'm going to assume that it's a bot or something. I'm going to just be like,
okay. What if it's like, I love cats 4266?
I don't know. Only 4 numbers. That's pretty safe, I think. Once you get to 5 numbers in the handle, then that's when it's a little scary.
Then they want to know.
For me,
about
the alarm
Bitcoin.
bells go off. You don't know. You're like,
first name, bunch of numbers or whatnot. Yeah, that's going to be like a huge no from me then. All right, Josh is going to be guys.
If I see that pop up tomorrow, I am definitely reporting it. I'm reporting that handle.
I mean, it's just weird, right? Like, because we don't get that. Like, I've never.
Oh, you might not. I get that all the
time.
time.
I get that.
Who?
There was a woman who said that I could like I'll be her boy toy or whatever. Was tweeting at me.
You wanted to be your sugar mama.
Like,
you sent me that one.
Yeah, I put that out there. What the hell? I got the thirst traps going out there.
I've had bots. I've had bots also contact me, but I'm saying these are real people.
I gotta admit something to everyone.
Ahead.
I have slid in the DMs one time. Okay,
Ooh.
I slid into Alley White Sox DMs to get the Adam Engel picture with the ass for a blog. Okay, I mean I gotta come clean with everyone. I gotta let you guys know. I needed it for a blog. Yeah, exactly. You needed the unit. I had to get it for a blog. So I'm sorry. I apologize to anyone who I hurt when I did that. But I definitely slid in to try. I said, Allie, you got that picture? Uncle Beef needs that shit for a blog. And she snapped it up. I don't know how often she has reshot that picture and has it like the top of her photo roll or camera roll or whatever. But she shot that shit over in no time. That shit was like, I had it in my blog in 30 seconds. Like it was.
Oh yeah, it's her phone background. I'm sure.
I was gonna say she has an album. It's her vaccine card and the butt shot. That's all that's in there. It's the first album in there because they're the 2 most needed pictures.
All right, we're going rapid.
I think so. You got any other creepy ass shit to ask my son?
No, I'm good.
Okay, go ahead.
You hit the rapid.
Can I start with the rapids? I got 3 rapid fire. So this is actually from Mrs. Beef and Quernsey and Bonita. They want to know, how do you get your eyeliner so perfect and what's your technique?
Just years of practice and failing and a pretty steady hand. Just a quick flex. I can actually do it with like ambidextrously. So I'm naturally left-handed, but I can also do it right-handed. Just years of practice. Just like be patient with yourself. Just absolutely. And also make sure that the eyeliner you're using, the brush needs to be like very inky and very pliable too. Like you're not going to get this type of wing with like a fucking marker. No. So yeah.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
You definitely got to make sure that you're using like a fine tip brush and a very inky eyeliner. So like that is my pro tip right there.
Okay. Wonderful. I mean, that's definitely helping them. This is strictly from Bonita. She said, give her a great anime show to watch right now.
Right now, I'm watching a bunch of stuff. So right now, I'm currently watching Demon Slayer. Currently, they're releasing episodes. It's the 2nd season right now. Attack on Titan's another great one. I actually started watching this really great baseball anime called Princess Nine, and it is about a girl's high school baseball team and the main character is this left-handed pitcher. So already, I'm
Right up your alley.
into the show already. And she's the daughter of a former great that passed away suddenly. So she's a lot of pressure on her. She's just kind of trying to make a name for herself, and also too trying to get her classmates interested in baseball. So far, it's a great show. So I'm really liking it. So you can find it on Crunchyroll. It's called Princess Nine.
Okay, great. I will probably hit all three of those. I mean, her and I are whittling down our horror movie list, so we're ready to flip back over to anime. Last one. This one is actually for me: ex-Woba or ex-Fip.
Oh man, I do love ex-Woba. I use Wobas all the time. I actually use it pretty just facetiously. Like sometimes if I catch someone doing research at the park and it'd be like, oh, you're looking up ex-Wobas, aren't you?
They're not.
Sometimes they are, sometimes they are, So sometimes you'll just be like, caught you looking up Wobas caught you looking up Wobas in public. But yeah, I just think it's a great stat to just evaluate certain types of or the way hitters can hit certain type of pitches. So I cite it quite a bit. I dig it. It's a good stat.
Beautiful.
You're done?
My
Sorry,
summer,
you're go.
Yeah.
What's your go-to beer, Janice?
Oh goodness, probably I do. Even though I'm a stout fan, I do like a good flavored beer. So I would probably have to hand it to Sketchbook Brewing. They make a really good beer called Pinky Sweater. It's just a common pilsner. It's very easy drinking, very smooth. It's an Evanston brewery. So really great stuff from Sketchbook. But yeah, I would definitely go with the Pinky Sweater as kind of like my go-to every day. I don't want to get messed up on like a 12% stout.
Right.
But,
like you will on the 108 podcast.
Yeah,
we appreciate it.
absolutely. For you guys, I would absolutely just drink a stout right in front of you.
I mean,
And
you gotta
that's
watch that.
maintain my image. So.
Yeah, you gotta watch that stuff. Like you don't got a lot of places to put it. You're a smaller stature. You're not not huge.
Not voluptuous like my sex.
Yes.
He's Rubenesque.
Exactly.
Almost. Like
Favorite job? What's the favorite job you have? You have like 800 jobs. What's been your favorite job that you've worked?
Oh goodness, that's a really great question. So as some of you might know, I actually did used to work at the ballpark. I was a souvenir stand attendant while I was in college, while I was at DePaul. So I worked there from 2014 through 2004 through 2006. I'm trying to make myself younger than I am. But it was such a
Don't
fun
do it
job.
on this podcast.
No.
You're plenty young for this show right here. You save that for other people's.
Just fine.
Yeah, it was such a fun job, though. I still have friends who work there to this day. I loved working at the ballpark. I thought it was like just a blast. I used to love just standing out in the outfield before shifts and just, taking in the ballpark and whatnot and smelling the onions cooking on the grills and shit. And and also the discount. The discount was also.
So what's funny to me is you worked there the year they won a World Series, and that doesn't even come up. It's like the discount. It was really good. I got a lot of good discounts on tchotchkes. It was great.
But the World Series year, you didn't know it was
going
gonna
winning.
You didn't know it was going to be the World Series year until it was until you were like in August. And you're like, oh shit, we might actually do something.
Were you working during the World Series?
I was, yeah.
Oh,
I remember game 2. Yeah, I just remember just walking towards the outfield on my break to get the curly fries that they used to serve. R.I.P. I miss the curly fries. I just remember just like Scott Pasednik's fucking walk-up song, "Let's Go" by Trick Daddy, and then just like how incredibly just loud and incredibly theatrical it all was, and how incredibly just even heightened it was because it was the World Series. It definitely did not feel like a normal White Sox game. I mean, at the same time, like I'm working, but at the same time, I'm like the inner fangirl at me was like, this is so fucking cool.
Dude, it's dope. And it's also dope when it's like you're good. When you're good, even the cheesiest shit is still awesome. You're just like, oh, this is great because you're good. But when you suck, it's not as good. It's the same thing, but it's just not as good. That was great. I was looking for pictures of you, and I saw one of your pictures from when you were back in Milwaukee. I think it was Milwaukee or Madison. Was it Madison or Milwaukee?
I lived in Madison, yeah.
And you had your teen librarian badge, and I was like, oh, this is Janice's Halloween costume. But no, you actually were a librarian.
I was.
And you were the teen librarian. It took me a minute because of like just how weird the internet is nowadays, and like that's not where my brain goes when I hear teen librarian. And I was like, what is your favorite book?
Oh my goodness.
Damn.
That's like probably one of the hardest questions I'm asked this often, and I honestly just like,
okay.
I have so many books that I like really love, and you know, I'm a reader generally, so I'd probably say my favorite book from recent history would probably be the one thing that like I haven't been able to kind of get out of my mind is probably a Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler. That's probably like it takes place in what would be the year 2022, but it's a much like kind of like bleaker dystopian look on, you know, just the state
Bleaker
of
than now?
current world. Yeah. Even bleaker. Yeah. But that's probably like one book I haven't been able to like really get out of my mind. Like it was just so incredibly just like impactful. But yeah, if you want to know what I'm reading right now, actually, I'm just carving through My Hero Academia, the manga. And so I know Benita's really into My Hero Academia.
Yeah, she enjoys that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I actually like it better than the anime, even though like the
Oh
anime.
wow. Okay, I'll have to let her know to kind of get down
the
on
anime
that.
and the manga are pretty true to one another. So just like especially when I'm reading the manga, it's like this feels like I'm like watching the storyboards for the anime.
Nice. Well, thank you, chorizo.
Yeah.
All right, I'm bringing something out of retirement here, Janice, and
I love it.
I think we've hung out with you numerous times now, but I don't feel like I truly know you yet. So I need to ask you these rapid fire questions to really get to the heart of the matter here. So the first, so these are cue cards I'm looking at. So just so you know, so the first cue card is food, and these are rapid fire. So Polish sausage or Italian sausage?
Polish sausage.
Hot dog or brat?
Hot dog.
Cake or pie?
Both.
Pizza or Italian beef?
Pizza.
Nachos or French fries?
French fries.
Taco or burrito?
Taco.
All right, let's go to some movies here.
Did I pass? Oh shit.
Good answer so far. Except for hot dog over.
There's
brat,
no.
I was a little skeptical.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
there's no wrong
You know what,
answers,
though?
but that one
But
was wrong.
Yeah,
I
that
get
one
that.
was
I get that one. I'm fine with that one.
Okay.
Movies. Sandlot or Field of Dreams?
Sandlot.
That's the right answer. Major League or Bull Durham?
Bull Durham.
Okay, there's the same movie. It's fine. The Natural or A League of Their Own?
A League of Their Own.
Moneyball or 8 Men Out?
Moneyball.
Yeah, that's right. All right, woos. These are the tough ones now.
Yeah.
These are where I'm truly going to judge you.
All right.
Colt 45 or Old English?
God, neither. What the hell?
The pick.
You can't
there was the both.
Billy D. Williams needs to be in there.
Fireball or Malort?
Malort, of course.
Miller Lite or Bud Light?
Miller Lite.
Jägermeister or Goldschlager?
Jägermeister.
Rum or vodka?
Rum.
Scotch or bourbon?
Bourbon.
Free beer for life or free booze for life?
Free beer for life.
There we go.
Assuming it's like whatever the hell I want to drink and not like some bullshit like Ice House, right? Like
yeah, no, it's whatever.
Yeah,
no
Red Dog. It's not Red Dog or something.
No, Red Dog.
Someone tweeted a case of Red Dog at me today when I put that poll up there. It's like,
yeah.
Where am I going to find that? Time travel? What the fuck?
Wisconsin? No, they still have it in Wisconsin. Plank Road Brewery's still going. It's all good.
Seriously.
Red Dog is quite drinkable. Let's just not start throwing stones.
Take it easy.
So, this is the toughest one. So this is the last card. This is Fat Guys.
Oh my goodness. All
Bartolo
right.
Colon or David Wells?
Bartolo Colon.
All right. Refrigerator Perry or John Daly?
Refrigerator Perry.
John Belushi or Chris Farley?
Chris Farley.
Prince Fielder or CC Sabathia?
Ooh. You know what? I love my lefty, so I'm gonna have to go with Cece.
All right. And the last one, My Sock Summer or BeefLoaf?
I'm gonna go with beef my sock summer. How about that?
How dare you?
no,
How dare you?
lame.
Make a choice.
Lame. I respect
lane.
you less for saying both than I would if you just said BeefLoaf.
Or if you said My Sock Summer,
kidding.
I'm good with it, baby. I'm good with it.
Yeah, I'm going to just completely avert the question. I'm going to say Chorizy. I'm going to say that is.
Oh yeah, that's fat ass. I agree.
I
Good
can't believe
choice.
you called me fat, Janice.
That
Thanks a
fat
lot.
fuck. Good. I'm glad she roped you in, you fat bastard. I'm glad you're
George
included in our
Clooney
group.
looking
I love it.
motherfucker.
Now
Can't
you
get enough
have
of that.
now you have to listen to BeefLoaf talk about YouTube.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're watching us on a live stream right now and haven't subscribed, make sure you tickle the undercarriage of that subscribe button and get on board. If you've already subscribed and are watching the show, talking smack about MSS's internet and generally meat gazing at Treasy E and I, please smash that like button in the face. If you are listening on the podcast feed and have never enjoyed the eroticism that is the YouTube version of this show, come to youtube.com/FromThe108 and hit that subscribe button. Our previous goal was 1,000 subscribers. We're currently at 1,100 plus. That's going to allow us to make minimum wage for about 1 hour per month if we do a full podcast schedule. You just can't beat that. So get your friends, your family, your dog, everyone to subscribe and allow the 108 to fulfill the dream of becoming YouTube thousandaires. I love you.
All right. We're gonna do just a little bit more baseball talk here. We're gonna talk some White Sox division.
My Sock Summer,
So-
fuck your thumbs down, okay? That
suck,
ad
bro.
read was good.
Suck.
And it was 2 takes, all right? I'm just saying, it was only 2 takes, all right?
Someone told me to
Kiss
go
my ass.
back to Evanston. I'm already here. Like, what the fuck? How the hell do I
Mrs.
go
Beef,
back
easy
there?
on the comments, okay? I finally, like,
You slept-
we were having internet problems. I wasn't letting her live stream the show when it was going on. I said, all right, try it today, do it. And now she's in there and she's giving me shit constantly. That's why
Good.
I'm bringing her comments up there, all right? I'm glad Treasy hasn't noticed, so he hasn't brought them up. So.
How do I go back to somewhere I'm already fucking at?
That's listen. That's SPF. He's fine. Don't worry about him. He's 38 ounces into some like goose
Yeah, he's
island
having some
right now.
vodka or
Just let him
something.
go.
Yeah, he's okay.
He's fine. Don't worry about him. He knows too many things. You don't want to get that guy angry. He's a gang intervention guy. Don't know. Let him be.
He's actually a good guy to have on our side. Like,
He's not
helpful.
even being mean. That's the thing. Like it's just like he's just that's
He's apologizing. Hang on. He's
So here's the
he's
question.
sorry. No,
I'm just giving you shit,
worries.
Sean. It's like, just giving you shit.
Here's the baseball question. And this is a this year and into the future question. We'll let you go first, Janice. Who is the next big division rival that we're going to have?
And before we start down this path, my thought was we break down all 4 of the AL Central teams, talk a
Okay.
little bit through them, and then we visit like, okay, who do
Then
we
we make
think
a
it actually
decision.
is? Then we
Okay.
make a decision. Is my thought. So who do you want to start with, Treasy? And then
Yeah,
I
time
agree.
for
Janice
that,
should
Janice.
start.
You got time.
So I think we could start with the Twins. I think because the Twins had a shit year
Yes.
last year. I don't think I'm ready to count them out. I think that there's a lot of bats still in this lineup, and there's a lot of prospect bats. And here's the thing that concerns me the most about the Twins is that their pitching is terrible, but they have prospects up the middle, which you can turn into pitchers. And so if they were to start out hot, it doesn't seem unreasonable to me that they could add a pitcher to this team. What do you guys think about the Twins? What do you think about their prospects going forward? They do have some people in the top 100. A lot of them are in AAA, but they don't maybe have the depth of prospects as some of the other teams in the division.
I mean, I love Josh Donaldson. Let me tell you, that guy is the best. He is my favorite guy I have ever seen. Actually, King Nam told me a story about Josh Donaldson. He bought some card off one of his buddies on eBay, and Nam's buddy put a thing in there and said, "Go Sox," and then sent it to him. Which I thought was very funny.
Wonderful.
And Sano, one of my favorite guys too, still on the Twins. Love that guy. Hope he fucking figures it out, kind of, but not against us. But But Twins, I'm not really worried about them. Not worried about them.
Not worried. Okay. Is it same with you? Is it the pitching that is making it not worrisome? Like, what is it about the Twins that makes you not care?
Me personally,
Any of you guys, please. We're talking about creepy shit. You guys were all jumping in. What do you?
No, I'll go. I mean, the Twins had the pitching factory for like 4 or 5 years. They were turning random ass motherfuckers, especially relievers, into really good pitchers. And then all that shit halted and they stopped doing it. And they just don't have the position player flow to keep up with this, right? They've got a Royce Lewis, but he's been hurt. Like, I don't know if I trust it. Alex Kirilloff's coming. He's there, but he's okay. He's probably first base, left field type of guy. Trevor Levarnick. Like, they re-signed Byron Buxton to a big deal, but they had just traded Jose Barrios. I don't think that they're a real threat. I mean, unless they want to spend $150 million, which they'll never do, I don't think they're actually a real threat. So, like, I would put them towards the bottom. I would restack it and put them kind of towards the bottom. I just don't trust that they can reignite that magic. That's the thing with some of the, like, the soothsayers out there. Like, oh, this person is is expert at doing this. Sometimes that stuff evaporates. Everyone else catches on, or you can't find the right personnel to line up where you're going to, exploit that situation. So I think the Twins are going to be kind of down. I can't wait to body them every time we see them, because those Twins fans hated Treasy and I. Treasy and I got into it with them the last time we were at their ballpark. And you know what? We're supposed to go there this summer. It's going to be a joint 108 Sox Machine tailgate. I can't wait to almost throw hands with some Twins fans. I just literally cannot wait. Fuck them. Hey, I'll let all of them know we're coming up there. We're going to be loud as fuck, and we'll be cheering for our team. And go ahead, give us whatever you got.
And so, Beef, you just mentioned that they signed Byron Buxton to a huge extension, which I think is great at face value. I don't really see him being a threat if he needs to stay healthy, essentially, if he's going to contribute to that Twins lineup. Otherwise, he was a huge pain in the ass last year. This is just a complete thorn in the White Sox side.
When he plays, he's great.
Yeah,
and they're kind of betting on that.
Great.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know what they got behind it. Like, let's say he does stay healthy and he's a fucking 8-WAR player all through it. Like, I'm not even that worried about that. Like, that's a good trade asset, maybe. I don't know. Like,
I think the lineup has some meat to it, though, right? I mean, so like if he's like that,
bro, like,
if he's that way, Pat, if he's an 8-WAR player and you got Donaldson in the lineup, you got Polanco, you've got hopefully for them, but not for us, that one of their catchers is hitting well.
Yeah, Garver.
If Sano doesn't do it, then maybe Miranda does, right? They're kind of the same fat guy. And then you've got kind of like the Royce Lewis, or what's the other guy? Austin Martin. Like, they're both the prospects that could pop for them. Like, there's a lot of ifs, but that could be a lineup, right? That could be a lot. Estudillo's gone, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he got traded.
Yeah, I don't think he's.
But they could have a reasonable lineup. They got some things got to click, but they could have a reasonable lineup. Pitching, though, I mean, I think right now Dylan Bundy is their ace.
My guy.
Yeah, your buddy.
I love Dylan Bundy. Not as like your best pitcher. That should not ever be your best pitcher. No, I agree.
So, speaking of pitchers, let's jump over to a team that has just had too much pitching for us for years, which is the Guardians. And so they'll have Shane Bieber back this year.
Yes, they will.
We'll see how Zach Plesac is. We'll find out what Tristan McKenzie is. Like, how are you guys feeling about this team? We know they can't hit. We know Jose Ramirez can hit. We know the rest of them can't hit.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, Cesar Hernandez is, we took them off their hands last year. But yeah, Jose Ramirez is a complete pain in the ass as well. But yeah, Cleveland is definitely known for just being a powerhouse and developing all these pitchers. Just objectively, as a baseball fan, I really loved Tristan McKenzie. I really loved what I saw from him last year. He went through a pretty dominant streak late in the season. I just thought he was like really fun to watch. He's probably going to be a thorn in the White Sox side coming up. Even though like I don't like that, like he's still an interesting guy to watch though.
Yeah, I totally agree. But the problem with the Guardians, and I got in trouble on Sox Machine podcast when we were doing the mock trial because we were going through the realignment, and I called them the Indians, and they said I got to donate to the jar, and I made a mistake. But I was trying not to use the NFL franchises. I had put the city names. And I'm like, I got to stay on point here, and I fucked up. I called them the Indians. I'm sorry about that. They're Guardians now. Yeah, I agree. And they even have some. I mean, when they drafted Daniel Espino, he was like the youngest guy in the draft. He was like 14 years old. It's like, how's this guy graduating high school? But the Guardians decided they were going to draft him, and now he's a top 50 prospect. Like they managed to push up the pitching. They've been able to keep that going. The problem is the position players, and I think they're at the point where they got to trade Jose Ramirez. Like you can't do the Francisco Lindor thing where you hold on to him way too long and it's like we didn't get shit for him, right?
Preferably to a non-AL Central team. Just
exactly.
team, please. Like get that man out of the.
Get him out of here, right? The Sox will only lose to him. They'll play Cleveland, and it's like don't pitch. And every Sox fan on Twitter is like, do not pitch to him here. There's 2 runners on, and we're up 2, and he hits a 3-run homer, and everyone's like, how did you just do that? Like the only guy you got to pitch to. So they got to trade him, in my opinion. They've never been able to solve the position player thing. Even the years where they good, Treasy, you and I would laugh at this. They would try to like bunch up a bunch of guys who should be or could be league average corner outfielders, and they would get absolutely fucking nothing out of it. They would plop everyone out there. They got Franmil Reyes, who is a good hitter, but he's a DH. Like they couldn't even get that right. It's like, can you play it? No, you can go over to DH. And nothing they put in the outfield ever actually worked. So I don't believe in their ability to actually field an entire team. I think right now they got lucky in that they had Lindor and Ramirez at the same time, along with the pitching. I think right now it's just a pitching factory. Unless they really want to spend and actually buy legitimate position player hitters, I'm not worried about them very much at all. In fact, I can't wait to laugh at them when they're in last place all throughout the Sox extended run, which luckily we'll get.
Beef, who was it in right field right in front of us when we were watching it? Was it Josh Naylor maybe?
It was Josh Naylor. He couldn't throw the ball.
He picked up the ball. It was like a single, but there was a guy going first to third, and I'm like, oh, they're going to run on this guy. They're not worried about him. And he threw the ball directly into the ground like Tim Tebow. It was amazing. And I was like, oh, he must have lost control of the ball. No one can throw that bad. And then he did it again later. And I was like, ooh, this guy should be at first base.
Yeah, shockingly, just looking up like last year's like standings at the end of the thing. The Sox obviously ran away with the division and whatnot, but Cleveland, between the second place team with the Cleveland Guardians all the way down to the Minnesota Twins, there's only a 7-game difference between all of those guys. They're basically bottom feeders across the board, right? That's what last year was. So I'm not too worried about whoever won 7 more games. They tried harder. And Cleveland like barely tried variants, right? Like they like maybe the season just lined up right for them. Maybe some COVID things happen. I don't know. Somehow they won 7 more games, but I don't think they're that much better than the Twins. And watching those 2 teams, I would have thought that the Twins were a lot better than the Guardians. So it doesn't matter. What I will not, and I'm cautious to say, is that I don't want to like just brush aside the Indians because they seem to always do something. Guardians, sorry. They seem to always have something come around, something happen.
Some weird shit occurs for them, and then they're like, okay, they're not bad. They're kind of right there.
Right. They're not good. They're definitely not good. Yeah. But it's just good enough, right? Like even in like
you can pitch
good enough.
If you can pitch, you can stay in a lot of games.
So we'll see.
Let's start bouncing into the scarier teams. that have some prospects, some real prospects, some prospects we're going to probably need to worry about. We'll start with the Tigers. Now the Tigers, well, I'll start by saying I worry about their pitching. It looks good. It looks like they can put together a nice staff from their prospects. But what really worries me about the Tigers is that if they do cobble together a couple stars, they do something much better than the White Sox. Two things much better than the White Sox do. One is hit on big free agents, and the other is find bargain players to fill in, right? Like guys like Robbie Grossman and Jonathan Scope are guys that Rick Hahn has failed to deliver, and that the Tigers seemingly just always kind of find. Like there's always like the guy that they sign, and you're just like, oh man, why didn't we sign that guy? The Tigers are at the bottom of the division, and they're signing this guy that we could absolutely use. And so that's what worries me about the Tigers. So I'll say that's a scary team to me. If you guys want to talk about, Janice, what are you thinking on the Tigers and what's coming up with them? They have great pitching. They have all these different kind of aspects that might be a problem for us.
I think their pitching especially is going to be fantastic. So yeah, Mize, Tarek Skubal especially. So they both made their debuts in 2020, which I got to see. And even though the White Sox had their respective ways with them, I thought they looked really fantastic. My Sox Summer is like, oh, of course, she brings that up again, that she saw them.
I saw 2020. You did.
I was in the ballpark. You guys, season ticket holders, you're out.
I had 3 servings of nachos while Lucas Giolito threw a no-hitter. Great. We heard you.
3 complimentary Dasanis. Thank you very much.
Still good.
I love it.
I didn't take advantage of the food service in the press box. I really should have, but I didn't. But
next time.
next time. Yeah, that pitching staff looks like it's probably going to be somewhat of a problem within the next couple of years. But anyway, they definitely have a nice, fun, young team. I wish I knew more about them off the top of my head. I don't, and I talk to Tigers people all the time. So,
what do you think? What do you think about the Javi Baez signing? It almost seems early, but like, how do you feel that
on surface level? Yeah, on surface level, I think it's great for them. It probably probably shores up their infield a lot better. I'm not sure if that's saying too much, but. And I think just having a good veteran presence on that team is also going to help them as well. So that's
Javi Baez is a veteran. This makes me giggle on the inside.
Right.
Like, I mean, he's a child, though. He's a child.
He's 29.
He's literally a child.
He's been playing for a long time. What the hell?
Well, no, what I mean is he's just not very mature. Like,
neither are you. So what? You're a veteran of the White Sox podcast and blog.
No one is looking at me and saying, "Oh, that veteran, my Sox Summer."
I do.
Like, that's how I look at you. Mushmouth fat fuck, formerly fat fuck guy over there.
Veteran of Old Country Buffet. That's
also,
what I think.
No one trusts Skinny My Sox Summer. According to Sam Panayotovich, he's putting the odds together for the 108 tourney. No one trusts Skinny.
No, it's not that they don't trust me. My Q rating is way down.
It's down. Yeah,
that's likability. That's not necessarily trustworthiness. Like you can trust somebody, but not like them.
We don't.
Well, I was going to say priest, but you can't. The Javi Baez signing to me is like signals that they're serious, that they really want to get better, and they're not afraid to spend money to do it. And one of the guys in this room right now, and that excludes you, Janice. I'm sorry you're not a guy, but Loaf's been calling the Tigers being back for about 3 years. He's definitely a Tigers fan. Even though he doesn't go to Little Caesars as much as Teresi or I. So he definitely loves the Tigers, and I like the Tigers. And it's weird because Javi Baez, while a Cub, I was not very much a big fan of, but then depressed Javi Baez showed up the last 2 years for the Cubs, and it wasn't as fun. You're like, oh, he lost the magic. You're like, they call him El Mago or whatever. And, and it's just like, he lost it. Now he's going to Detroit. Hopefully he's going to regain some of that magic. Again, not against us, but I want to see that guy happy playing baseball again. It'd just be great.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. And with the Baez signing, with the Tucker Barnhart signing, with the Eduardo Rodriguez, who's a long-time BeefLoaf guy signing, the Tigers look like they shored up the stuff they know they don't have, right? They didn't really have the innings eater guy that they needed to lead the staff. Not going to be the best pitcher on the staff, but a guy who can kind of stabilize the whole thing, right? They got a lot of young pitchers, and they're going to be erratic. Let's get the one guy in here we know can stabilize this thing, lefty guy, whatever. We're going to get the catcher that we actually trust. We're going to trust this guy to handle the pitchers. That's Tucker Barnhart. And then we're going to get the one top-end defender. We don't give a shit if he strikes out 220 times. Just catch the goddamn ball at shortstop. And they got that guy. So, like, they scare me from that perspective. They also scare me because they've got Spencer Torkelson, who I think prospect hounds believe is better than, or expected to be better than Andrew Vaughn, top pick in the draft and everything. Big hitter. I mean, there's like, oh, he might play third base. He's a first baseman. Miguel Cabrera is going to be, on the bench or in right field in 108 with us. And then they also have Riley Green. So, like, they've got high-end prospects. The spot where they're kind of missing it, and Teresi mentioned it early on, is like they're good at finding the random free agent who they could plug in the spot. They don't have the prospect depth. Like the Sox were a little deeper than this, like as far as good players. They've got like the really high-end guys, the pitchers, and then the couple high-end hitters. But behind that, there isn't that much. And so, like, I'm worried about them, but they got to really hit it right. They gotta sign the right people, and then these guys all have to make it. Like the top end guys all going to make it, in my opinion.
Well, let's talk about top end guys that are prospects, and it's the team that has probably easily the best prospect in the division, but probably the best prospect in the major leagues based on everything we've just recently seen, and that's the Royals with Bobby Witt Jr. Mm-hmm. And so the Royals are generally a royal pain in the ass. And so, like,
we were kids, Treasy, when we were kids and mom and dad would have people over and they're having cocktails, whatever, in the 80s, I can remember watching Sox Royals, and fuck the Royals, George Brett would get a big hit, or Frank White, or someone is like, God damn it, we cannot win a game when everyone's over here and we're all rooting for the Sox, and it's like the Royals kick our ass, man. They have been a pain in our ass our entire lives.
And their field too. I don't know why, but like their field just seems, even if it's not, seems so much more gigantic than any field that the Sox ever play on. The ball goes into the gap and our outfielders are running at it. It looks like fucking Clint Eastwood in the middle of the desert in Good, Bad, and the Ugly. Like there's just miles and miles of nothingness before we get to the ball. So like this is one of the teams that like their fans were genuinely nice to us when we were down there.
They were,
but I still cannot stand this team. And I want them to lose all the time, but it looks like they have some pieces coming together. So what are you guys thinking about the Royals and how much of a pain in the ass they're going to be in this division?
I think the problem with the Royals is that they lack stamina. I mean, they seem to have a good showing within the first few weeks of the season, and then they just kind of like fell off the face of the earth. And I think, they've got a couple of key pieces. So, of course, I mean, the Salvi Perez, whom is like probably the most overrated and underrated catcher at the same time in all of baseball.
I mean, great way to explain that. Great way to explain that. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he's great, but he's also not that great. About as much as I can like summarize that. But yeah, they've got a handful of just really amazing prospects. A couple of really great call-ups that just like made their debut this past year, whose names escape me. But I talked a lot about them. But yeah, just the team that just eternally will like just be complete nuisances. And yeah, like you guys, I would like to see them lose more. You just
what a pain in the ass they are.
Yeah, precisely. Like it would suit me if they would, just lose every time they play the White Sox. But that's just my humble opinion right there.
I don't care so much for the Royals. They're not like favorites of mine, and they are a thorn in the side. Who's that guy that used to hit the fucking home runs all the time? That big moose motherfucker. What do they call that?
Billy Butler.
Mike Moustakas, that motherfucker. Oh. The only guy that we ever had that could destroy the Royals was Matt Davidson, and he only did it like one series. But it was great. It was fun while it lasted. Now, I will have to always cheer for my guy Jacob Junis, who's from Rock Falls, Illinois, which is right across the bridge from Sterling, Illinois. So that's the only guy on that team.
He's even with them anymore.
I think he is. I'm gonna check again, but I think
he's
he's
still
still
hanging
there.
around.
I think he's still there. I don't
Is
think
he?
he's a starting pitcher anymore, but I think they invested too much money.
They have a lot of starters coming.
Yeah. So I don't think he's going to be, around too much longer. So don't worry about it. Maybe we can pick him up on the cheap. But yeah, no, the Royals, yeah, it's just enough to be annoyed.
I'm going to be honest with you, Chirizi. I got really scared this offseason. Okay. First, I read Joe Sheehan's newsletter. And Joe Sheehan lays out the Royals and he's talking about them. He's like, I think they're going to be an above average offense in 2022. And I'm thinking, we watched them last year. They were horrible. What the hell has changed here? And then I got my hands on Keith Law's prospect list. And I saw a paragraph or two that got me freaked out completely about the Royals. Can I read it to you guys?
Yeah,
Yes.
go for it.
It's about a guy named MJ Melendez. He's a catcher. Okay, he's 23 years old, 6'1", 190 pounds. He's in the top 100 prospects now. Okay. The Royals saw their plate discipline numbers do a 180 across the system last year. Melendez was one of the main beneficiaries of the new emphasis on hitting plans for their hitters. Melendez was always a plus power and a ridiculous arm, but it was a hacker through 2019 season when he hit 163, 260, 311 with a 39% strikeout rate in high A. That's horrendous. Wow. Any of us could probably do that strikeout rate, right?
I don't know.
It was disastrous season in hindsight. Only underscores how incredible his transformation has been. In 2021, he hit 288, 386, 625 between AA and AAA and cut his strikeout rate to 22% from 39%, obviously. He struck out 50 fewer times in 112 plate appearances. It's a funny thing, but when you always hit the ball hard and then you start making a lot more contact, you get really great results, like hitting 41 home runs to lead all the minor leagues. The Royals did help Melendez with his mechanics as well. He's always been a busy hitter with a high leg kick and a huge hip rotation, but he's calmed the latter part down enough so he's no longer over rotating and he's timing his leg kick better. It's coming into his strength. He's helped him develop a stronger base and more upright through his contact. Couple mechanical adjustments and the whole new plan at the plate. It become a premium offensive catcher with a cannon. So the Royals also did this to a guy named Nick Prado, who went from a non-prospect to a top prospect. Mind you, the Royals have become this like hitting factory out of nowhere. And there's a guy who came from the Royals to the White Sox who's been getting promotions, who was not there while they did all this. Treasy, do you know that guy's name?
Chris Getz?
Chris Getz was not there when they were doing all this, and they were turning all these non-prospects into prospects. I am currently terrified of the Royals because the Royals have enough talent, especially they have a big pile of starting pitchers too, that none of them were good last year, but like if everyone starts hitting and then you're just okay starting pitcher-wise, the White Sox might be a little concerned here with the Royals.
So your concern is that they are going to be the hitting version of the Guardians. Basically,
that's right.
Yep. They can grab the Microdolphos of the world and go, you're not going to strike out anymore.
That's right. They're going to fix the approach. And they shot up from like a lower tier team when it came to walk rate across the minors to a higher tier team, kind of out of nowhere, right? They shot the moon on that. So someone figured out something, right? Someone is going to get paid a bunch of money who figured that shit out, and they're going to be probably with the Dodgers or someone in a year or two. But regardless, right now the after effects could hit the White Sox because these Royals prospects are coming through. Now, it doesn't mean they're going to hit in the majors, right? They did the shit in the minors. We don't know. Mm-hmm. But it looks scary as fuck to me. And, like, the Royals, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, and, like, hearing it on Joe Sheehan's newsletter, I was, like, not prepared. And now I'm seeing the prospect list come through, and I'm seeing all this shit, like, these guys all know about this too. I'm like, oh shit, man. There's something we're not prepared for. And 2022 might be a little more treacherous than we thought it would be.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
Jake Junis is a free agent. Hopefully the Sox sign him so I can get a Jake Junis jersey. That would be awesome. Please put him in there just for a couple. Just for a couple innings. I just need the jersey. Thanks.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. Yeah, the Royals are very good at developing hitters, and I personally think that sucks.
Yeah, I did too. I wish the White Sox were good at developing something. That's what my wish is. You know?
I appreciate that you sideswiped Getz in there, where you're like, now that they got rid of that guy, they can develop players. But
That's
now
your guy. That's your guy who you buy. Look, we're the only podcast. I'm not saying the only one. Sox Machine does it too, but they want these guys to be penniless and homeless. We just want to point out that they're maybe not getting the job done as well. They could be. And you've been on Chris Getz for a while. It's like, yes, you did develop the guys who were really high-end prospects. But how about the pop-up guy that no one ever heard of coming up and being real guy who gives production? Gavin Sheets has kind of been that guy for a little bit. We'll see. I want to see it next year before
he's got to have a full year of it.
Totally buy in. Right, exactly. He was good for that partial year, no question. But I need to see more of that shit, before I'm going to believe in, before I co-sign the next Chris Getz promotion, which he gets more promotions than you, Treasy. Treasy, you get promoted every year. All right, you deserve yours, but I want to see if he deserves his. That's all I'm saying.
All right. So we've covered all the teams. We've gone through them all. So we're gonna go around.
We decided that we hate them all. Like they.
There's no question.
Yeah.
I cannot stand any of these teams.
I honestly, I have had a few beers. I started it on that sentence, and I was like, "Did we actually hit all the teams?" We did.
I feel bad more for Cleveland than I actually hate them. I'll just be honest with you. They're just the poverty franchise. I just feel bad for them. I hate the other ones much more than them.
So let's go around. Who's the next big division rival? Janice, we'll let you pick first. And I will say this, I won't pick anyone that you guys have picked. I'll make up a story for whoever you guys don't pick. So Janice, you go ahead first. Who's the next big rival?
Yeah, I'm gonna say, seeing as how this White Sox lineup seems to get tied up by pitchers who come out of nowhere, I'm gonna go with Detroit. They're going to continue to just be a complete nuisance and a pain in our collective asses. Yeah, and I feel as if Tarek Skubal and Casey Mize are just going to get even better. So I'm gonna go with Detroit.
Yeah, they got that pizza money too. That ain't helping.
Oh no!
Yeah, if they want to spend that shit, there's no question.
My Sox Summer. Who you got?
There's a Who line, and I've had way too much bourbon to remember what it is, but it's like the same song as the new song, the whatever the fuck. It's gonna be the Tigers again. We've battled with these motherfuckers for so fucking long. They went into obscurity for a while, but now they're coming back, and they're coming back with a vengeance. And they are buying people. They're throwing that pizza money around like a motherfucker, just like, whatever. Yeah, I'm going with Tigers.
Beef?
I mean, I would say Tigers. I've been a big Tigers pusher, but the Royals are scaring the shit out of me right now, especially in the really short term. Like, I believe in the Tigers, like the system and all that stuff, but there's more work to do there. Like, this year, I could see the Royals come out of nowhere, have these prospects show up, hit the shit out of the ball. And it's like, you didn't add anything. You added no free agents. You have Mike Minor as your like big free agent pitcher. And this team is really good with remember last year, I think the guy's name was Carlos Hernandez. He was like an afterthought. It's like, this guy's pretty good. And I'm looking at their roster resource. He's like their fifth starter in this team. It's like they have so much starting pitching that you're not even sure about. You don't even know what it is. And then they're going to show up and maybe some of it's good. Like if you have a big pile of it, which I wish the White Sox had a little more of it, like you might find something you weren't expecting. So I'm terrified of the Royals right now. I'm going to be rooting hard against them when they're not playing the White Sox because fuck them.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
those are the two teams really that we should be most concerned with. But I said I wouldn't pick one of those, so
Tell me.
I'm going to go with the Twins, and I'm going to say the Twins because nothing would piss me off more. Like if the Twins come out of the gates and they're just on fire, and let's say they're tied for first with us in May, and assume the season started in April, which I'm not sure it will. I would be extremely concerned. It would make my life miserable looking at the standings, knowing about that. And I think that that's part of the rivalry, right? When it makes you sick to your stomach that this team is doing anything well. Yep. The Twins are that team for me. So I would say that it's the rivalry is there for the Twins, and whoever Ronald McDonald is, I couldn't agree more.
It's got to be someone we know really well.
The Burger
who's
King is
hiding
terrifying. We should all know this. So is Ronald McDonald. All right, but any I would say of
I'm
all the
picking up on
teams-
this, Janice, just so you know. Okay.
I didn't do anything. I didn't do shit.
Billy,
What?
You made your eyes as wide as they could go just so everyone saw it, Janice.
I didn't do shit. You know.
let's put the comment
Oh,
back
you
up.
did
Let's-
shit. You did it twice.
There was no
I
blinking,
saw it.
though. No blinking.
Oh, she did too blink. There was no winking, but there was blinking.
So
Fuckers. Tell you what. Sorry.
calm down,
Susie.
my sex.
I know, I'm sorry.
All right, the whiskey's gonna get you.
No, it's not.
So I think we came to a decision that the Guardians are shit, and we don't really have to worry about them.
Yep.
That's right.
I
That's
think that is the general consensus here. So.
Well, I think we're almost to the end here. Janice did want to thank you a ton for jumping on, for spending nearly 2 hours with us blathering around in all kinds of different directions. It's always great to talk to you, and we can't wait until we can actually see you in the park and have beers with you in person. Hopefully that's sooner rather than later.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's no one else I'd want to spend 2 hours double fisting 2 beers.
Yes.
I didn't even notice I was double fisting. So this beer, I
Alright.
That one's
poured
still
for
going.
myself, and I actually misplaced it, but I put it off to the side. And, you know, object permanence is not a thing for me apparently. So like if I can't see it, you know, it doesn't fucking exist. So I poured myself another beer. 2 beers.
Respect.
I
I
love
love that.
I believe in you that you will finish those. Okay. You're good enough. You're strong enough.
And
Finish those 2 beers.
darn it, people like me. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to go that far, but I definitely wanted to tell you that you could finish the 2 beers. No, people
Thank you.
love you. You know they love you. You're all over the Twitters. People are rah-rahing you. They're in your corner. They love you, especially
That's
when
why
you go
people are
after-
watching. As soon as she logs
Yes.
off, everyone's gonna leave.
Yeah,
That's all. it works.
no doubt. You know, especially the people that hit Ken WO, they love you, love you, love you.
Of course.
Send that motherfucker some tacos. That's good shit. I love that. That was great content. I loved it.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, Jose and I agree. Yeah, see. Yes.
Janice, thank you so much. We will see you soon.
Right, see y'all soon.
Thank you very much, Janice, for coming on.
All right, fellas, we're coming down to the wire here. I want to get some thank yous out. Beef, give me your thank yous first.
I got to thank you to 50 Cent for looking fatter than me this week. I got to thank you to Keith Law for writing that thing about MJ Melendez to have me terrified of the Royals. And last, I'm going to thank Treasy for being the bong in this reggae song.
Oh man, I appreciate that. Appreciate it. My Sock Summer. What do you got?
Man, I want to thank Off With Their Heads for recording a lot of albums I haven't heard, so that like when I'm on the Stairmaster, like cursing myself and I want to die, I'm listening to at least some good music. I also want to give a shout out and a thank you to Fourth Shift Printing, which is also Ryan Young, the lead singer from Off With Their Heads printing company, that made our t-shirts. I ordered them on a Tuesday morning and he dropped them off on a Wednesday afternoon. That is totally insane. I have never seen this type of customer service. Thank you very much. Check them out. If you need some shirts or whatever, go right at them. And thanks to all the chatters too. We love you guys. Even if you hate me, fuck you.
Yeah, big thanks to everybody
Tracy?
that listened. Big thanks to Janice, obviously, for coming on tonight. That was an awesome show. It was a lot of fun. And I want to just heartfelt thanks out to all you people that came out to my show on the 4th. It was snowing.
That was
It's
awesome.
cold as fuck. I appreciate you guys coming out, and I hope you
Big
enjoyed
crowd.
it. I hope
We had
you
a
got
big crowd out there. Big 108 crowd.
hope you had some delicious beer. I know I did. It was a great time, and I truly appreciate it, and I'm grateful for all the White Sox Twitter showing up for that. That was really cool and honestly unexpected. So thank you guys. Thanks everyone. We will see you very soon.
Peace.